This is my third time filming this because the last time that I filmed it, it stopped recording suddenly, so that was a really good time for me. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will be talking about books, I promise. The reason why I've been gone for a few months, I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but the reason why is because I got into a reading slump and just lost all motivation to read anything, which is, well, that's partially true. I did read a couple of books, which I will talk about first, but for the most part I just didn't have any interest in reading continuously, like picking up a book as soon as I've finished another. I just completely stopped doing that, and I know that's not an uncommon thing to do. I know that a lot of booktubers go through that same thing, and just people in general go through slumps of all sorts, so I'm not trying to make an emphasis on this is why, and it's a really special reason why I was gone, but just a little explanation as to why I didn't post anything. I am going to talk about a couple of books that I have read, and also a couple of books that I just purchased yesterday, so let's do it. The two books that I read most recently, I guess, would be The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and The Hawthorne Legacy. This one by Taylor Jenkins Reid and this one by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So these two I kind of just picked up out of nowhere. This one I just got too many signs to read this, so I had to get it and I had to read it. Everyone around me seemed to be recommending it and reading it at the same time, so I felt compelled to. And this one I had picked up because I read the first book, The Inheritance Games, and really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed both of them for different reasons, but I loved them both equally. They were very good. This one is more fun, this one's more heartbreaking. This one I was surprised by because I knew so many people enjoyed it, but I didn't really understand why. The concept is interesting. You have this interviewer interviewing a Hollywood star about her life, and this life is full of scandalous things going on all the time, and it ends up being one of those where it's like, oh, this is the book that is being written at that time. Like, this is the finished product of what the interviewer was getting from her, because she was basically writing her autobiography. So somewhat of a ghostwriter, but also not, because it's from Evelyn Hugo's life that is just full of heartbreak and tragedy and just a lot of drama. It is just such a deep, compelling, and very real book. The Hawthorne Legacy, on the other hand, it is more of a fun mystery puzzle solving kind of book. I'm not going to talk much about this one because it is a sequel, so I don't want to ruin anything for those who haven't read the first book. So read The Inheritance Games, and if you enjoyed it, then you'll definitely enjoy this one, depending on which ship out of the love triangle that you prefer. The other book that I wanted to talk about, but I don't have with me currently, is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This is a spin-off to the Carvel series. It's now following a different character that appeared in the second book, who was very likable, and he's now going on his own adventures with a new love interest. I currently don't have it because my friend is borrowing it, but I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed that book. I would recommend it, and you can read it without having to read the Carvel trilogy, but it's more enjoyable if you do read that, so I'm not gonna say much. But let's get into the books that I just recently purchased yesterday. Starting with Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong. This is the sequel to The Inheritance Games by the same author. Why did I even mention that? This is the last book, so it's a duology, and it is set in 1920s Shanghai. It's based on Romeo and Juliet, and it also has some other elements in it, such as a paranormal monster that makes people cut their throats out. If that interests you already, then you should probably read this book. But if that's not enough, it has a lovers to enemies, then enemies to lovers trope. Come on, you have to like this book, right? But in this final book, I'm kind of anticipating the classic Romeo and Juliet ending, which is the fact that they both die at the end. But I have some hope that it's going to be slightly twisted so that that's not completely the case. I do expect a tragedy at the end, but that doesn't mean that they both have to suffer and die at the end. Some kind of like a compromise for these two characters, because Romeo and Juliet are just such an interesting couple, and I would hate to see them just die. I'm really excited to get into this book. This is the one that I'm going to start off with to get myself back into something that's not a reading slump, and this should do it. This should definitely do it. So read these books if you're interested, even mildly interested, you should read them. Now the next book I got because I just recently heard that it was coming out. For some reason I completely missed the announcement, but I saw it on my Explore page, I got really excited, and that book is Roxy by Neal and Jarrod Shusterman. So these two authors also wrote Dry, which is a dystopian book that I thoroughly enjoyed and got pretty terrified of because it felt really real and I actually felt dehydrated. I really wanted to give this book a try. However, I looked into the synopsis and I looked on Goodreads at the early reviews from people who received ARCs. It's got some mixed reviews. This book is about drugs personified as gods who are putting themselves to this challenge to like influence teenagers with their effects. I can already tell it's going to be kind of a hard-hitting book and it could be triggering to some. Despite the reviews, I do want to give this book a chance. I have this feeling that I'll enjoy it and I will update you guys once I have read this book because I feel like it's got some potential. It's just going to be kind of hard to read at some points. I hope that this video gets you interested in some of the books that I mentioned, whether I've read them or I haven't yet. I am going to end up reading these books on a trip to California, which I'll be going on for a marching band event, and I will be vlogging that trip. So if you want to see what it's like to go on a marching band trip all across the country, then you'll probably enjoy that video because it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be there for 5 days. I'm going to end up compiling all of those clips from all 5 days together so that it's easier for me to edit because I don't know how to do like daily vlogs that I could just like pump out every single day. We're just too busy for that. We have a very packed itinerary, but I am so excited to film that. It's going to be such a good time, even though we're going to wake up at 4:30. I am hopefully going to get back into reading so that I can review more things. I also am planning on talking about stuff outside of books that I've been interested in, such as Marvel content. I'm not totally into the whole Marvel scene. I'm just not very knowledgeable in stuff like from comics or anything, but I have been up to date with all of the Disney Plus series and all of the movies that have been coming out recently, so I am super excited to talk about those. I really want to talk about What If because it is so crazy. I have a lot of opinions on it. I have actually ranked all the episodes. I hope this was a sufficient enough video to explain why I've been gone. But also why I've decided to return. I found some really cool books that I am going to read and pretty much enjoy, probably. I will see you guys in the California vlog, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Bye.